Hello everybody, Gliderman here. So today we're going to be looking at arrays in Java. So we're going to just ignore our other class.java that we have over there. So we're just going to select all of this and press delete. And we're also going to get rid of this for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an array. And so we're going to be using an integer array as our first example. So we're going to do an integer as our array, and then we're going to insert an open bracket, which will automatically insert a closed bracket. And so that will define it as an integer array. And we're just going to name it array for right now. And then we're going to assign it to a new, and then we need to make sure that it's a new integer, and then an array. And in here we can tell it how many indexes we want there to be. So we're just going to put in 10 for now. And so that will create a new integer array in there. So down here, we're going to assign the first index, or technically index 0, because how this works is it goes from 0 to 9, and that will give you 10 indexes. So now we're going to do array, and then we're going to do 0 to get to the first index, or index 0. It's just how computers work. And then we're going to assign that to 5 for right now. And now we're going to just output it. So we're going to do system.out.println, and then I'm just going to output the 0 index. Save that, and then run it. And you're going to see that it gives 5 there. What's also very handy with these is doing for loops to loop through it. So we're going to do for, and then we're going to do an integer that will act as our index counter, and so we're going to assign it to 0, which also happens to line up with array, the first index being 0. And then we're going to check while I is less than 10, which will happen to line up with this and go from 0 to 9, and then we're going to just add 1 to I. And then we're going to go over here and do an open brace. And we need to make sure that these are actually called index. Slight goof there. There we go. So now what we can do is we can do array, and then we can use the index variable right in there to get that index. And then we can just assign it to index times index, or index squared. So that's a very quick way to fill that array with things. You can also fill it up with items in here, but that's a little bit trickier. And so now we'll just output what it is. So we're going to do index is assigned 0. And yes, I know that that is the same variable name, but because that is inside the for loop, it only applies inside the for loop, not anywhere else in the program. So I can use it here. So I'm just going to do index is less than 10. Typically you would have other code running in here as well that would change the stuff, the variables in array. And then we're just going to do index++, open this up, system.out, println, and then we'll just do index number, and then we're going to insert that index so that we can say index number blah is then whatever it winds up being. So we're going to do array and then index in there, and so that will all combine to basically give like index number 0 is blah. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap it with another set of parentheses, and then I'm going to increment that value in those parentheses by 1. And that will basically say, take whatever index is, add 1, so that we don't have like the user confused by index number 0. We just say, okay, so it goes from 1 to 10. So we're just going to have that automatically calculate that. It's not going to change index though. So we're just going to click run, and you're going to see that it does the squares here. So index number 0, well, that was 0 times 0, so that's 0. 1 times 1 is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, whatnot, going through. So that's an introduction to arrays, and thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!